What is going on, y'all? Site Perspectives, GeoFucks here. Disclaimer, I'm going to be discussing what's going on in Palestine and Israel. And I'm just going to go on and, say it. If you don't know, now you know. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. So, here's what I want people to really start looking at, okay? Historically, with President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, his wife Eleanore Roosevelt, 1948, was the creation of the UN, the United Nations. And the United Nations decided, bringing all of the different countries and nations together, especially after World War II and the Holocaust and the Nazis and what took place in Germany and throughout various parts of Europe, where you had genocide. You had 6 million people murdered and killed. It wasn't just Jewish people that were murdered and killed. It was LGBTQ plus people. It was gay, trans. It was ethnic minorities, gypsies, etc., were murdered and killed and slaughtered. People who had mental disabilities, physical disabilities, were murdered, killed, and slaughtered in the Holocaust. As well as, obviously, Jewish people were murdered, killed, and slaughtered in the Holocaust. Now, the UN in 1948 decided for a reconciliation was, hey, what happened to the Jewish people was horrific, horrifying, should have never taken place. So what we're going to do is to try to make amends. We're going to move people that never lived in that area out of Europe and into another land, somebody else's country and culture. Because what people don't understand is Palestine was there well before Israel. Israel stole land. They literally stole land from the Palestinian people and then decided, you know what? This is going to be Israel now. So we're talking over 70 years. Okay, it is 2023. This happened in 1948. So we're talking about 75 years. Nearly 100 years, y'all. 75 years of this going on. And just ongoing colonization, stealing people's land, ethnic cleansing, apartheid, literally separating people based off of religion and skin complexion. Because let's just keep it real. Don't you think it's odd how, we have money for all of these other, all of these other places. Ukraine, we can understand that the Ukrainian people need assistance from Russia. But when it comes to black and brown people all over the world, for some reason, we never can extend the olive branch to black and brown people, to ethnic minorities, when they need help, when they need assistance. Nope, instead, what ends up happening is, unless you're white, and let's just keep it real, you're not going to get the assistance and support that you need. Instead, you're going to be painted as the terrorist group. You're the terror. You're the terrorists. Never mind the fact that Israel has been committing acts of genocide and crimes against humanity for the past 75 years. I mean, it was literally created by colonization, stolen land. Doesn't this sound very familiar? Let's think about the USA, the United States of America, with the 3 Ks, and how this land was stolen from the Native Americans and indigenous people of the Americas. And now all of a sudden it is the USA through colonization. through murder and slaughter and enslavement. History, unfortunately, continues to repeat itself. Now, I want to make it clear, I do not condone war, violence, genocide, rape, crimes against humanity. I do not condone it. It shouldn't be taking place, and it shouldn't happen. However, I understand people defending their land, defending their country, defending their culture, defending their people. And again, were the Palestinians supposed to just sit around for 75 plus years being abused, tortured, killed, slaughtered? I mean, we can go all the way back to 2014 with the Gaza Strip and just the constant chaos and murder and slaughter. And not only that, but people being kidnapped by the IDF, Israel's own version of a Gestapo, essentially. Which, you know, it's really sad, right? Because remember, these are supposed to be the descendants of the people who were murdered and killed in the Holocaust. Yet here they are, committing the same acts of genocide and crimes against humanity that the Nazis did in Germany and in various parts across Europe during World War II. All through the 30s, there was the anti-Semitism and painting Jewish people as being these evil folks that were against the community, against the world, you know, painting them out to be horrible people, aka dehumanization, which is what's been going on for the past 75 years to the people of Palestine. The Palestinian people have been dehumanized. They're literally being painted as evil people and, you know, terrorist organizations. And also keep in mind, isn't it wild how all of this is really based off of religion, right? The Christian Judeo faith of, you know, Jewish, Christians, Islam, Muslims. And this is like, you know, the ongoing holy war that has been going on for thousands of years. And what's outcode about the whole situation is everybody, religion claims to preach love, love thy neighbor, preach peace. But yet people are using their religion to justify genocide, justify stealing people's land, justify killing, raping, and pillaging people. And when you look at the IDF, how are they any different than the Nazi Gestapos? They have their very own militarized police and army. Literally, people born in Israel, they basically have a draft. You immediately have to serve a set number of years in the IDF when you are in Israel. And again, they've been kidnapping, they've been detaining people of Palestinian culture, ethnicity, and they've been separating, you know, whether you want to look at it as segregation or apartheid, that's what it is. And of course, the mainstream media, the Western media, is going to continue to portray the Palestinian people as horrible, warmongering criminals and terrorists, when they literally had their land stolen from them. Their people have been killed and murdered. And I also want you to keep in mind, 50% of the Palestinian population are children. They're actual kids. They're under the age of 18. They're babies. Infants, babies, toddlers, little kids, adolescents, teenagers. Okay, we're talking about 50% of that population are children. And here it is, you have Israel for the past 7.5 decades killing, murdering, bombing, cutting off supply to food, water, shelter, healthcare. They didn't even give access to the COVID vaccine to the Palestinian people the same way that they did for the people in Israel. And keep in mind, Israel is a made-up area. Again, it is land that was stolen from the Palestinian people. You can thank the UN, the United Nations, 1948. Now, the terrorist attack, as they want to call it, that took place at the music festival with paragliders coming in and attacking the concert festival goers, along with the misinformation and the downright fake news. But that's, a whole nother topic in of itself. But what's happening here is just grotesque. And what gets me is the USA is in the mix of it all, as usual. They overnight were like, oh, here's $8 billion to Israel. Keep in mind, Israel gets about $10 billion a year from the United States of America, because the United States of America funds Israel. And literally, they just got $8 billion overnight. And keep in mind, you have people in the USA who are homeless. Don't know when they're going to get their next meal. Don't know if they're going to have a roof over their head. Can't afford health care. Can't afford to put food on the table. Can't afford to put gas in their tank. Can't take care of themselves. Can't take care of their children. Can't take care of their families. But you don't see the U.S. government moving to help their own people in their own country. But somehow they can give our tax dollars to all of these foreign countries to fund foreign wars, to fund further genocide and crimes against humanity, while also committing genocide and crimes against humanity on their own people in their own country, the USA. You can call me a conspiracist, you can call me whatever. But it's wild how we don't have a say-so over our tax dollars. And keep in mind, there are Palestinian Americans born and raised in America, and they are Palestinian. You don't think their tax dollars? Why are you using their tax dollars to fund the very country that is killing their homeland and their people? You're using their tax dollars to fund their own genocide. How is that okay? It's ridiculous. And again, the people at the festival didn't deserve to be murdered and killed, and the people in Palestine don't deserve to be murdered and killed. War should not be taking place. I do not condone war. However, I do understand people defending their country, their land, their culture, their people. How long are oppressed people supposed to stay quiet and take abuse and oppression and discrimination and persecution? Free Palestine. Free the people of Palestine. Free the Palestinians. Free the land of Palestine. Free all indigenous people. Free all marginalized and oppressed people across the globe, across the world. Free Palestine.